Hello, this is High Templar with my new Total War Warhammer mechanics video, and today we'll be talking about magic resistance and magic damage. Aspiring Champions is one of the units that instead of dealing normal physical damage, they are actually dealing magical damage. You can see that with this icon, magical attacks. So that means the attacks from those guys are not mitigated by the physical resistance, they are mitigated by magical resistance. That means the warriors, the dwarves, who actually have natural magic resistance of 25%, will be getting 25% less damage. Would that mean aspiring champions will be defeated by dwarf warriors? Well, it won't, because dwarf warriors, the aspiring champions is a very strong unit against other infantry, especially non-armor piercing infantry like dwarf warriors. Their weak point is, being totally destroyed by thunderers or colorers or anything like that, cannons, for example. But they will do pretty well, but look at that. The longer the fight takes, basically, because those guys are already very tired, and dwarf warriors are only winded, not even tired. But, as you can see, at the end of the battle, we still have all the aspiring champions alive and 2300 health on them. Yeah, still pretty much 2200. 2200 at the end of the fight. And all the champions are still alive. So, let's just quickly see what will happen if we do use the same scenario, but we add some magic resistance from the Anvil of Doom. Will that change the result? Will the dwarf warriors will be able to defeat aspiring champions with additional 15%? When it sounds that additional 15% is not that much. You can see right now here that there is this locus of power, additional 15% magic resistance. So the magic resistance total on the dwarf warriors is 40%. You might think that this is actually not that much, only 15%, but because there is already 25% on those dwarf warriors, it amounts to the total of, well, basically it's 20%, not 15. And let's just see how this will work out. As you can see, dwarf warriors are still losing. There is 16 aspiring champions still, but they are already down to 2400. 2200, already as low as before. 2100, 2000, 1800. See that? Already 1700. Very few dwarfs are still alive, true. One aspiring champion is dead, and we have 1500. 1400 at the end. So there is a significant difference. If you can pick this guy, all your units will take, well, less from magical attacks. And this is very important if you are, for example, playing Clan Angrund. So, if you are playing Clan Angrund, you will be fielding some of those Etheral heroes. Etheral heroes have magic resistance of 80, but they also have, physical resistance of 80, because they are Eternal, but they are very low health, only 2500. And this is direct counter to those guys, twice as cheap. The Chaos player can bring 3 of them into the battlefield, and you can bring, well, you should bring 3 heroes really, the Runesmith and two Thanes. Let's just see how this will work out. The Thanes have a healing potion, and 1 versus 1, the Thane will defeat, even without the additional resistance, will defeat those aspiring champions. Because, well, he's a Thane, and also he won't be tiring that much. Those guys are already winded. I popped up the potion right now, the toughness potion. I only brought a toughness potion, but I do have a Foe Seeker also, only Foe Seeker really. So they are twice as expensive as Aspiring Champions. And we have 1600 on the Thane, 1500. It's going down. So Aspiring Champions is very effective counter to those Thanes. Down to 400 health at the end of the battle. Very, very effective counter. For half of the price, you almost defeated the guy. What will change if I'm bringing the guy with the magical resistance here? The magical resistance is actually very cheap. The Locus of Power, if you are bringing Rune Lord, you will be bringing the Anvil of Doom anyhow, because it's giving additional physical resistance of 25% and additional health. A lot of health, and this physical resistance 25. So this is amazing actually mount. And now we are running with additional magic resistance. So magic resistance on the Thane is up to 40%. And the same fight pretty much against those Aspiring Champions. Although normally you should support the Thane, try to run out, not fight directly with Aspiring Champions, because that's just silly. Here. All the way, healed all the way up. Another Foe Seeker. Those guys are already very tired. And Thane is fresh because of the Foe Seeker. And instead of 400 health, 1500 health. That much of a difference fighting those guys. Obviously you won't be able to defeat two of them. There is also more. Those guys are actually being quite vulnerable to magical attacks like Spirit Leech. And the additional magic resistance, additional to 25% that normal dwarves have, will be very useful here. So if I don't have a magical resistance, right, on this guy, and I cast Spirit Leech on this guy, at the end of the Spirit Leech, this guy is down to 1578, basically. However, if I do this with magical resistance, well, the difference won't be that big, because it's only, like I said, 15%, 20% difference in total between 25% and 40% dwarf resistance, but still. Spirit Leech down to 1718 health. So this might seem like insignificant number, but mind you, those guys have only 25,000 health in total. So this additional 1500, if they are not, 150, if they are not fighting against, say, Aspiring Champions, but against normal units, that will be with 80% of physical resistance. That translates to 5 times more. So that translates to additional 7,500. That is something we can work with. And basically, if you have this and you have 3 guys, your enemy won't be able to leech all of them, because he will need to cast pretty much 3 leeches or 4 leeches on each and every one of your heroes. And he might not be able to do that because he will run out of mana, and your guys will be able to wreak havoc against your enemy, and he will be using all the mana on those guys, and you can still have the rest of the army you can use, and the runes and everything pretty much. So yeah, this is something very, very useful. If you are bringing Rune Lord and you are playing Clan Nagrund, do bring this additional magic resistance. And if you are playing well, either in the campaign, or you are fighting multiplayer and you think that your enemy might be bringing units that are dealing actually magical attacks, do bring this guy. Also remember that the dwarves normally have magical resistance of 25%. Runelord, for example, 55% in total. So if you are fighting dwarves on the campaign map and your lords do have magical weapons, lose them before fighting dwarves, because your guys will be dealing a lot less damage, and I mean a lot less damage to those guys, to the lords, for example. To if this guy is being Rune Lord with the Locus of Power on your normal, so 55% magical resistance is a huge amount, and you won't be able to take out the Lord as quickly as possible if one of your lords or one of your heroes you are using in your army do sport magical weapons. So do remember about that. And that's pretty much it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like, comment if you will, and see my other videos in Total War Warhammer, my mechanics videos, DLC analysis and speculation videos, but also my Let's Plays in Total War series and other games. Thank you for watching, and see you later.